Yes, it's magical fun time with Dr. Ergo Phizmiz+Depresstival, and this week we are broadcasting from our house at Chicken Aspic Towers, here in the wonderful little hamlet of Shipton Abbot. The jackdaws and the pigeons have been communing on the windowsill most mornings around 4 a.m. Screaming at us. And I don't mind, I like it. I like being woken up at 4 a.m. by the magic ones. And we've got now some serious friend pigeoning going on, don't we?
And like the good thing is everybody already thinks I'm a heathen, so this will make it worse.
Exactly.
So that's really great.
Because we have like this window that kind of overlooks the town, and we sort of look like gods. And as we kind of look down over our subjects, one is given a real perspective. I can't actually remember why I went on to this.
Well, I mean, one of the perspectives is that we had something about disability rights written in the window, and lots of people keep looking up at us like they want to kill me, which is really interesting, and various other things about not bombing children in tents. The public aren't apparently not too up on that message.
Well, some of the public look up and smile, and there's some solidarity.
I'd say it's probably about
47%, which seems to be the standard measurement for a lot of things between, how do we put it? It seems to me that perhaps the human race is divided into those with bloodlust and those without. And
no, you're not allowed to be against violence now.
No. It's political to be against violence now, particularly mass systematic violence.
Apparently, like not wanting to watch loads of people sort of being, violently obliterated is a political position, which is interesting because that would imply that you've actually chosen the political position. So does that you've actually chosen it, because it's not. If the people are saying, the people who object to this not wanting to do total violence, if people are saying that you step into the position of being against violence, then that would mean that the baseline underneath is fairly worrying.
Yeah, the baseline underneath is worrying.
Not just like, the sort of thing of kind of objecting to the idea of setting fire to the entire Amazon and clearing it for, why would you want to? But chop down all the trees everywhere.
Brilliant idea.
But the fact that is a prerequisite for sustaining my own existence is. I would have thought it would be in everybody's best interests to want to sort of continue sustaining their own existence. So that's what I think.
Well, here's a question I have for you. This word humanity that they use to, the word. How would you define the word humane, for example? What is the definition of the word humane?
Well, personally, I think that... Shall I put on some hold music in the background?
Yeah, you can put on some hold music.
Well, personally, I think that the entire history of the human race has been exceptionally violent, so I think that the word humane probably means that. That's what I've always thought.
Yes,
anyway.
but what they think, or what humane apparently means, is, I guess, it's supposed to mean the capacity for empathy. And what's happened in Palestine has shown that for at least the first year of what was going on and what is going on, that empathy does not seem to be the standard among human beings.
No, really, no.
It's possibly the exception rather than the rule.
Yeah, I think possibly.
And we talked about empathy in the context of autism, because one of these very deeply erroneous ideas about autism is that autistic people don't have empathy. And you described to me recently that apparently what empathy is supposed to be, that's wonderful, that music. Apparently what empathy is supposed to be is that when a person sees a person suffering, they're supposed to go through this internal process of that person is suffering.
Suffering is bad.
Suffering is bad.
If suffering happened to me, I would be sad.
I would be sad. Therefore, so I should feel sad about this suffering. And being told that that is apparently the standard process of empathy.
That there's a logical step by step.
Whereas empathy for me, and I can certainly speak, I've had this conversation with my daughters, that if I see somebody like fall over, it manifests as physical pain in my body,
and that is the difference. That is the difference.
If I see someone get hurt, I get like these pains up my back.
And you know what that's actually called? What I've found out recently, that apparently that's referred to as mirror synesthesia. That people, I mean, I'm not sure how, sort of like science, whatever, but there's a type of synesthesia that apparently if you see somebody having a physical thing, it comes back and you feel it in your body. And so and a lot of autistic people talk about that, about having a mirror-like synesthesia. So possibly the idea that we are lacking in empathy has come from the fact that these two conceptions of empathy are fundamentally very different. Yes. For me, empathising with somebody in pain
is an automatic
thing. It happens deep in my body and it hurts.
So what this says to me is that if this other idea of empathy, this like process, well, that's not
removed.
That's not an innate empathy, is it?
No, and I'm not.
So is the non-autistic mindset that empathy isn't innate and they have to like process this thing?
Sure. I mean, I had this whole period where I was like, because I sort of still. But I've dropped out of society, so it doesn't happen as much. But have like dissociative seizures, which no one's heard of, but it was all very Freudian. It's called AKA conversion disorder. Some very bad things happened to me, which people can. I just can't be bothered to talk about. But in the past, and I ended up with sort of quite horrible problems. One of them being that I would have these seizures which would last for hours and hours and hours. Consequently, I got sent to this because of the sort of fairly Victorian mental health services in not just this country but most of the world. I got sent to a DWP sponsored group thing on something called mentalisation, which took place in like the City and Hackney Therapeutic Community in Homerton, and it was all. I'm not really sure what it was supposed to be. It was all about trying to get me to accept this diagnosis.
You have to first of all tell me what is mentalisation.
Well, that's the thing. I got sent there because I was trying to get referred to Maudsley, who have a specialist unit of CBT, which are for like complex post-traumatic stress disorder and dissociative conditions. And they're also like, they have a big autism unit. So I was trying to get sent there, but the people who were doing this like therapeutic community thing on mentalisation, it was expensive to get me referred there, so they were trying to get me to not be referred there because of the funding, and so consequently they were trying to get me to accept a diagnosis which I didn't have. And it was all about this mentalisation thing. Now I don't know what mentalisation is, and I sat in a group being told to mentalisation, we were all supposed to be...
It sounds like mesmerism, you know?
We were all being told that we needed to be better at mentalising, and I was like, okay, what is mentalising? And they were saying, it's when you recognise hurt in another person and you think that that's bad. And so I was saying, well, okay, empathy. And they were like, no, it's not empathy. What are you...
Well, what is it then?
They made us do all these like little quizzes, which was stuff like, Jessica it's her birthday. Her boyfriend hasn't said happy birthday. How do you think that this makes her feel? why is she upset? And I was having to say, well, she's upset because her boyfriend has forgotten her birthday. Yeah, but why? Why does that make her upset? Look,
because her boyfriend has forgotten her birthday.
And so it was just this stuff. I've got no idea. And none of the other people who were patients there had any idea what it was about. It seemed to just be a lot of autistic people who were unemployed being told that they had a problem and they needed to not be given the more expensive autism diagnosis.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of part of it, isn't it? The empathy thing. I don't know, is mentalisation... I know it's a psychiatric term that came into like Canadian institutions in the 70s, but I mean, the thing to bear in mind is that most of these are made up. The DSM is like just basically a bunch of guys sitting about going, oh, what do we, you know, what do you reckon we should call that one?
Is mentalisation still a term?
I don't know. I literally have no idea, and
I'm going to mentalise.
I had to do this for like.
I mentalise. I'm
weeks,
constantly mentalising.
It was just.
I live in a state of mentalisation. Constantly mentalising. My head is just full of barrages of mentalised everything.
Visions.
Mentalised shamanic visions. Yes, that's true. Because reality is dense and strange. And even though appalling things are happening, wonderful things are also happening too. And we've talked about our interactions with our alien or interdimensional friends before. And, you know, before you switch off, you know, put it in the context that the American government, who for some reason are the authority on this, I don't really understand the mechanism by which that happens, but the American government announced in 2017, UAP are real, we don't know where they come from, we don't know how they do.
But they're definitely
what they do. They're
anomalous.
Definitely here, they're definitely real, they're definitely anomalous, and they couldn't be made by another country, because if another country had technology that advanced, then they would own the world.
But also there would be no...
There would be a one-state system.
This is what I don't understand, because if you've got the kind of technology where you can sort out all the kind of free energy stuff and like that, if you'd actually managed to invent this thing where it was really super duper and everything, you probably would find yourself transcending things like petty, nationalistic... nationalistic sort of... you know, I can't describe it because I'm not allowed to swear, but you know, thing waving about competitive things. If you had a method of having constantly sort of generating energy, and you could do what these sightings of these vehicles are proposed to have done, which I have seen because we've seen many of them, and everyone thinks insane, but I don't really care anyway. Think whatever you want. You'll do that anyway. If you made that, you'd probably transcend all these petty nationalistic tendencies and start thinking, what could we actually implement with this technology to bring Earth into a slightly less kind of burning state? So I just don't think that it's... How would somebody keep that quiet? Yeah. How would you keep it quiet?
Yeah. But the notion of space travel across the interstellar void, perhaps achieved by consciousness, doesn't really go hand in hand with nationalism and patriotism now, does it? And so I would say and this is my advice to Elon Musk as well, I would say that if you want to travel into interstellar space, first you got to transcend that nationalism. You know, doesn't matter where you're born, doesn't matter where anyone was born. We live on a tiny little planet.
Born in a point in time and space.
Yeah. And my life is definitely, because so much happened to us, my life is definitely I used to say my life was pre-COVID and post-COVID, and luckily I transcended that. But now my life is pre... massive swathes of UFOs and strange globulous blue things in the woods, and pre that, and post that, and I'm now readily accepting of the notion of interdimensional, interstellar visitors, and actually I think that it represents one of the great arrogances of the human race to have ever asked the question, are we alone in the universe?
Yeah, I mean,
no, of course we're not, you idiot.
Okay, so the thing I don't understand about all this, like, now it can possibly be UFOs, right? Okay, that's assuming that you know everything, obviously. So how? Oh wow, look, there's more handprints on the wall. Where?
Handprints turning up on our walls
again.
What happened in our last house?
Where? On the ceiling.
Handprints on the wall.
Oh, there's more handprints on the wall.
And when Barbara Cartland was haunting
us,
when Barbara Cartland was haunting us, romantic text started to appear from beneath the paintwork. Embossed out the paintwork.
Yeah. Anyway, the UFO.
Weird things happen to us.
I'm fine with it now.
I'm great with it. I love it. It's far more exciting
than
better
than before.
Whatever you lot are doing.
As
Netflix.
far as I'm concerned, like I'm
not making any friends.
No,
this week.
we watch Netflix, don't we? But like, as far as
do we?
Well,
only Diana the musical.
Oh yeah, no, it was just Diana the musical, wasn't it? Which was about 60 times. I've stopped now because that was the only reason I had. It was Diana the musical.
Yeah.
But that dream is over now.
Oh, the dream's not over. That dream's just beginning.
Yeah.
As you well know. We have plans for Diana the musical, David, Brian and Joe DiPietro. Just you listen.
It all sort of changed though, but yeah, the UFO thing, because it's sort of like, well, I mean, you're assuming that you know absolutely everything that there is to know, and I mean, we still burn oil. It's not really. You really think that this is like the benchmark of a civilized, intelligent species that you're basically gouging out the planet?
These very primitive things. So like Elon
So how would we know anything about technology?
Elon's rockets, when you actually look at them,
they're basically a metaphor, is all they are.
Well, yeah, but it's you know, it's an impressive feat of engineering, but it's very clunky, and they're burning things.
I mean, it's pretty primitive. How long has it been like this? Since the invention of the combustion engine, and nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
And you have
it's all very primitive.
You have to like stay with this kind of thing.
Everything you're doing, it sucks.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I get called a sort of like Luddite. Well, I call myself a Luddite. But
we're neo-Luddites now, aren't we? Neo-Luddism. That's the new thing. Ditch your phone, become a neo-Luddite, do your hand washing.
But yeah, people think that you, if you don't like the internet, that you're somehow some sort of Luddite. Yeah. But isn't it being more of a Luddite to be like, okay, there's all these alternatives to burning some oil, to like literally carrying everything by setting fire to stuff and piping extremely flammable stuff into people's homes. And isn't it more of a kind of Ludditism ideological thing to be absolutely no way are we possibly going to ever move on?
To me, it is...
So they're conserving oil. That's what they're conserving.
It is a sign of the deep stupidity of mankind that they invented the combustion engine and then stopped there.
Yeah.
You know, because it's obvious from the beginning that is going to consume resources, and it's obvious.
So you don't
this is what I always say to climate denial people, because the Earth is this round ball surrounded by this atmosphere, and this atmosphere basically is the equivalent of the Earth being basically in a room. Now, if you are in a room and you burn stuff in that room, the air quality in that room is going to drop, and the animals and people in that room, their lungs aren't going to like it. Yes. And I don't know, I mean, there's so many like now words that people are saying, oh, you shouldn't use that word because it's a right-wing dog whistle, etc. But like, you know, I don't know what else to say, but like common sense, like things that are just obvious. Like, yeah, it's obvious that if you burn stuff in a room, it's not going to be a nice room to sit in.
No, and everybody talking. It's just like, what was the piece of information I found out the other day that all of the schematics that have been used, data techniques that have been used to analyse climate change haven't really been updated since the 90s, since they were originally made. So a lot of people updated all of the methodologies for gathering this stuff, and then found out that it's much, much worse than we thought. But still, everything carries on. People go and spend 40 quid on a meal and that's being like made of a sort of dead animal or whatever that is contributing to all this stuff. But that's fine. Just keep stabbing the planet that we all have to cohabit upon. And because obviously I'm like, apparently me saying that is a political position. Again, back to the beginning. But I don't really feel like fear is a I mean, actually, I'm past
mortal
the fear
isn't a political position.
Like, it used to be mortal fear. Now I'm just full of just total sort of contempt. Really, I'm no longer afraid. I'm just really, really disappointed. I'm disappointed in everyone. Really, everybody. Oh, you can't change it. It's the system. Well, I mean, like, yes, you can.
My mother said to me recently. Well, not that recently, because I haven't spoken to her for many months. But she said to me recently, "It's the system you live in, and you have to just accept it."
Why?
Why? Why do we?
Why do I have to accept
And
this?
if more people said no and didn't accept it,
then it would be fine. We could change it in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, things like
people do when they actually decide to do
the boycott movement. Yeah, it's had some impact on those businesses, but I would guess it's still the minority of people who are boycotting.
Probably still
and
is.
like
most people, like where we were
the
last
people
staying, they had
vis-a-vis
brands.
capitalism have such power. You know, the power that the people wield over these like multinational conglomerates. It will be very easy just to everyone stop
and it's a
using
pacifist move as well. Like, just not.
If everybody stopped buying Coca-Cola, it will collapse almost overnight, right?
Overnight.
Yeah, and so we can change the shape of the world and the shape of the system simply by boycotting.
Just say no.
It is a thing of great power.
No.
We can already see the effect of it because, like, companies that have never, for ages, haven't had to advertise or advertising because they need to make more money because clever, empathetic people are not buying their product.
But it's so sordid. Are people really not like? Are people really not embarrassed about this thing? And the whole thing is like, okay, I didn't realise, right, that people are so into brands. I really had no idea until quite recently.
Well, someone said to you recently.
Bear in mind that I grew up in a field and
you should just. Someone said to you recently.
A swamp, so I've never really noticed the stuff.
Yeah, but just to put this, what I'm about to say, into context, Lottie, right? Well, in Italy, they have this culture where it is okay to tell people that they're dressed well, to tell people that they look nice, because it's a fashion capital. And people, it's not England,
people are good
so
at
people don't dress in like grey tracky
accordion
beads
making capital
where you
of the
can see
world.
it all swinging about, and those like gilets, those awful goose-filled.
Yeah, which I might add that a lot of the time when they're making those, they rip the feathers out of the geese while they're still alive.
Yeah.
That's like a lot of companies.
Yeah. But you see, in Italy, they have this culture of saying to each other complimenti, which I think is beautiful. Complimenti.
And it's both genders as well.
And people, both
women
genders.
Do it to men,
and it is a non-sexualized thing. It is about presentation and about how you are dressed. And Lottie, just to give you the full context of this, Lottie is seriously always the best dressed person in whatever town they're in. A fantastic range of clothes that have all been, found and charity shopped and handed down, and just an impeccably curated selection of multicoloured things.
Cheaper than yours.
A cheap,
I spend less on clothing than all of you.
Truly, deeply satanic wardrobe is what.
At least it's not Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, is what Lottie has, and I've gone so deeply into the context that I can't remember.
The complimenting.
Yeah, but why was I talking about that?
I don't know. I'm so
I have
depressed.
no idea.
Italy, something about.
It was before Italy.
It was about. Was it about how much everyone hates us? I can't remember.
It probably was about.
It might have been about that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, we our apologies, but we have so many digressions and things to talk about. I've had a horrible week.
Yeah.
I've had a horrible week. Hence the pre-record. I've had a horrible.
Well, to be fair, this is probably about pretty much the same as it would be if it wasn't pre-recorded.
Yeah.
But we got the lovely hold music now.
Yeah. In both personal life and in professional life, I've had a horrible week. But we don't, and this is my message to all the all you clever folk out there, because we let's be honest, we need to separate the clever from the not clever, and this now in my life has become like super important. Clever, thoughtful people have to stop putting themselves below people who can't string words together.
Yeah,
right.
And
I've done that my whole life, and I refuse to do it.
Yeah,
anymore.
I'm not doing it anymore. No. I really just can't. I can't be bothered to explain stuff to people anymore. I really can't be bothered.
No, and that sounds cruel of me and horrible, but it isn't. It is a survival mechanism.
I've done so many things where I've facilitated community-based things, like that whole thing that I ran for over a decade or on and off, but for a good sort of however many years. Yeah. In London, and all the sort of going out of your way to establish things to make people have a nice time, and then they all just sort of don't trust you and hate you anyway. So what is the point?
Yeah.
Really?
And the other thing that's been happening is continued wackiness from the media, who have been there are reviews coming out of Vicky Bennett's album Kokio, on which I wrote all of the songs. And the reviews are omitting my name from the list of collaborators and saying that everybody else wrote them.
And it's important to know that it's nothing to do with Vicky.
No, it's absolutely nothing to do with Vicky.
Are they not considering maybe how she might feel about that?
No,
how everyone else involved might feel about that? It's embarrassing. Yeah. And I feel like it's...
One feels as if it is coming from the same political perspective as the smear campaign against us in the Wire magazine. That we won't suggest what political perspective that might be.
I think it could be many things. I think it's... I think it's a lot more complicated than it's kind of also, and I think it personally is also an anti-autistic position that it's kind of like you are very multifaceted in what you do, and you get a similar reaction to me that I get from people, which is people being like, "Oh right, what you think you're like, sort of either this accusation that you're doing it because of ego, or like, oh maybe they've got a problem because you do it all the time." Because for people who don't make art, they see it as this. People a lot of the time I think see being a musician or an artist as they only see the celebrity bit associated with when you get really, really famous. But the fact is, if you're really into art, Messiaen, he wasn't trying to I'm going to be on the cover of Slipped Disc magazine. It's sort of like Messiaen was trying to channel the voice of God. I don't think he really cared about other people. So, he was always...
And art is much more important than that.
Messiaen wrote while he was in a Nazi prisoner of war camp. You know what I mean? He was doing something to try to transcend a lot of basic human things. That was all he could do. He could only write transcendent stuff because the experience for him of writing music was a deeply religious one. And I will say the same for many composers, regardless of what their religion is. They still are channeling the voice of what we call God.
Yes.
And I really just don't see any evidence of that opinion from much in the way of the music press here. It seems that it's actively against things that are trying to channel any sort of transcendent thing. We really, people really don't want to talk about this stuff. Everything has got to be really sort of bland, everyday kind of I don't know, about issues that affect consumer devices and stuff like that. Issues with consumer devices and what are we like? This sort of thing. If you step out of this particular schema and you do anything that's kind of autistic in character that actually involves sort of analysis, then the post sort of Michael Gove thing.
Well,
everyone's sick of experts.
A lot of people have said to me that my work, a lot of autistic people have said to me that my work is entertainment for autistic people.
Yeah, because you're autistic. And because everyone involved in the things that we make tends to be autistic.
Yeah. And we live in a time of such Oh, the kettle. Let's listen to the kettle.
Oh, this is immersive.
It's the kettle. We're at home, you see, here in Shipton Abbot. We're making a lovely cup of coffee. Tell me, I'm using a lovely, beautiful
£1.
£1 HRH Prince Charles Lady Diana sponsor 29th of July 1981 mug with a lovely crest on the back. What mug are you using, Lottie?
I'm using a piece of merch from an Isle of Wight band called Plastic Mermaids.
Plastic Mermaids. The band Plastic Mermaids from the Isle of Wight. I used to teach one of them.
Yeah, well, the drummer of Plastic Mermaids...
Tom Farron, who is a lovely guy.
The drummer of Plastic Mermaids, Dave, his father was in a band with... in like a punk band with my uncle and my stepfather.
Was this the Waltons?
The Waltons, yeah. So he used to dread. Unfortunately, he passed away recently, which is very sad. But yeah.
Tell me about the Waltons, because you talk about the Waltons a lot. They had a big hit, didn't they?
Yeah, it was a.
Were they like top 20?
I'm not sure. I can't really remember. I've been told this so many times. Their music got used in a film called Annika, which was quite big at the time, I think.
Right. In the 1980s.
I think so. I've always heard about it, but it got used in that, and it got them some publicity, I think. And they were kind of like my uncle was like a fixture on the sort of like Brighton and punk scene, Brighton and southern punk scene. So I think he talked about how they once did a tour where they once did a thing where they managed to like sort of persuade just walk on stage to support the Damned. I think, or maybe that was someone else. I don't know. I've been told all this stuff, but I was really young at the time.
Your uncle was also an archivist.
Yeah, he was. He archived all of the sort of the stuff around the Isle of Wight, a lot of the punk bands there.
It still exists online.
Yeah, it still exists online. My father's still
name of the website?
My father's still running the website. It's www.cheesybits.com.
And it's an archive of loads of different
Isle of Wight punk bands. Yeah. Like my mother was in a sort of like all female kind of. I guess it was like punk scene sort of barbershop like harmony quartet, and they played a lot of gigs.
Punk scene barbershop harmony.
They were kind of like it was all female harmonies, and they did sort of part singing and everything. But all the songs were about stuff like boy racers and things like that. They were really good. Called Cats Like Plain Crisps, and the name came from a squat that my father and my uncle and possibly other members of my family used to go to a lot, and in Richmond, when they were squatting in Richmond, and somebody wrote something on the wall of this squat that was like, which crisps do cats prefer, like when everybody was sort of, hippie dropout, not allowed to talk about what people were doing because of legislation, but obviously like sort of hippie sort of what's this thing on the radio? Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So hippie stoner thing. Sorry, everything's very Mary Whitehouse, and I don't know what to say. But yeah, somebody wrote a survey on the thing in the squat, and then a piece about like which flavour crisps cats prefer, and then somebody wrote it on a wall on that road in big letters, and a photo turned up, and then this kind of thing kept getting written at festivals and stuff like that. I think. There's a lot of weird squat history about it, and then the other day it turned up somewhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And then was there a consensus that cats preferred plain crisps?
I think maybe that's why it ended up being that. My mother's band named themselves after this. This is all.
I don't think cats would prefer plain crisps. I think cats would like cheese and onion and smoky bacon.
I think they prefer meat.
Well, no, but I mean, if they were presented, if the cat was on a desert island with only crisps, then this is really commercial radio.
It is really commercial.
If a cat was on a desert island with
but don't forget that neither of us exist.
Crisps.
So.
Oh yeah, I don't exist. This is the new thing.
Yeah, you have never made any of the work that you've made.
No, I didn't.
It's like me. I never get credited either.
No.
I never get credited.
No, but I get credited and then removed, which is interesting. Yeah. So like this is what happens. If you get like. Well, I've been media blacklisted since about 2017, but the media blacklisting now is like absolute. It's hit crazy levels. Like the media,
really not popular with the felt hat makers.
No, I'm not popular with the felt hat makers. But the media blacklist used to be just that. Like when I used to do theatre productions and operas and so on. It was always very easy to get coverage, and my work would be reviewed in like the Times, the Guardian, the Stage, the Independent, blah blah blah, all those kind of things. Never the Telegraph.
I did the Telegraph once.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was a modelling job for the Telegraph.
But now it's impossible, to get anything.
Little did I know later on that they would be so rabid.
But since working with Palestinians, the media blackout has, gone crazy to the extent of just omitting me from
your own work,
from my own work, which is curious.
But we did say that thing the other day, didn't we? That the release that we most recently did the sort of best on was the one that didn't have our names on it. Yeah. So maybe it's a good thing.
We did very, very well a couple of years ago on a release that didn't have our names on it. That was called Shapes for Experts.
On
Strategic Tapers. Oh, it's alright, I already came out about it on the internet ages ago, at the end of that year. No one noticed, of course. But yeah, it was called The Jewel in Strategic Tape Reserve's Crown. And
the weird thing is, it was disclosure. I think we should pause it, because in the studio we play a record, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we could pause it.
We don't have to cut this bit out.
No. Yeah, I mean, should we pause and come back?
Yeah, okay. Let a little bit of the whole music play out for a second so it sounds like them.
Can it turn up?
This is CFAX, September the 2nd, Sunday 16th of September, 2002.
Hey Lottie, have you heard that the Wire magazine is probably going to close?
Oh, I'm really sad.
I don't know, I'm bereft.
Oh yeah, bereft. Doesn't even cover it. It's really like they should have kept the real font, really. I think it's all about the font. It's all about the font and comma. Anyway, let's take a little break.
Let's take a little break. Except it won't be a break for you. Just a little break for us. Yeah. I'm going to just sing along for a little bit. Don't music like this make you feel great? Makes me feel great. Pina colada. Sangria. Pina colada sangria. La isla bonita. Machico latino. Take me back to the sweet La Vida. Find out my Dolce Vita. Show me where I need to go. Find me my love, my chico latino. La isla bonita, sangria, pina colada, mojito. La isla bonita, sangria, mojito, pino colada. The guinea pigs. Unfortunately, it wasn't recording. There's 6 guinea pigs here. They did one of them did an exceptionally loud screech, which unfortunately was missed. But maybe if we rustle some plastic later.
Yeah. Okay. This is something that I want to talk about. This. Right. Okay. The fact that animals now have Pavlovian triggers where they associate plastic with food, and other people do, and humans do as well. I think. Probably is that not slightly dystopian? Do you not find that really, really disturbing?
Yeah.
All could be actually stopped if they just, don't make the stuff in the first place.
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice if the guinea pigs associated the rustling of leaves with food rather than the rustling of plastic. And it is a particularly... If you think that, I think the figure was that, if Homo sapiens have been on the Earth for like 100,000 years, guinea pigs have been on the Earth for something like 360 million years. And
it might be 68.
Well, anyway, a lot of millions, a lot more than us. They've got some older knowledge going on that we've got. And the fact that we've created a world where the sound of food is the rustling of plastic.
Does it not kind of put you...
It does. It makes me feel sick.
I refuse to put it in landfill. I'm not putting it in landfill. As far as I'm concerned, because places like the Co-op are responsible for this, they also should take responsibility for stopping it as well. And the thing is, the plastic thing, it also serves a few more purposes, which is like if you can put everything like a particular amount of tomatoes in a little bag, then you can then decide how much the person buying the tomatoes is allowed to buy. Yeah. You can make it into more of a commodity. It makes it into more of a commodification because then they're actually packaging it as one object. Yeah. Now, when my mother went to Mexico, she did a few times. She walked around the Walmart there, showing me what was there. Walmart's owned by Aztec. It's the same company. In Mexico, they don't put anything in single-use plastic. Yeah. So she showed me around the greengrocer bit, and it was all just produce. You could decide, put it in a paper bag or whatever bag, or not a bag. It was your decision to decide how much you wanted to buy. Now, I object to the plastic thing on two things, which is the fact that it's destroying everything, and also that I'm not actually allowed to decide what I want to buy. And the plastic is all extremely dirty. None of it protects anything from dirt, because if you're putting salad leaves in a bag, there's a big salmonella warning at the moment about bagged salad. So it's obviously not for cleanliness. Yeah, really, saying that like it's really, really bad because the thing just rots in the bag instantly. Yeah. So the outside of the bags are disgusting, the inside of the bags are disgusting. When you put it into recycling, it's disgusting. It stinks. Plastic is disgusting, and all I can think is maybe it's a way of people who, like shareholders, managing to get rid of a load of waste. Yeah. That's all I can really think. Because why do they make it? What's the purpose of making it? I can't handle this thing of sitting here, seeing solutions to problems that are dire,
the solutions
they are easy to implement,
and they're reliant on at least certain elements within the current consumerist system stopping.
You can still have your pathetic little consumerism, just design it slightly differently. They can still have their capitalism, just make adjustments.
They just have to adjust their system to the planet that they're living on, which supports their existence.
We are the only species that takes a material and drastically transforms it and then dumps it in a hole. Yeah. No one else does that on this planet.
And I wonder if anyone has done that even in the solar system.
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
And I wonder
if
why the space intelligences turn up is they want to look at the stupidest species. What kind of species dig stuff up, transforms it
into something worse,
and then puts it back in the ground? What kind of species does that?
It's just unbelievable.
No, to not rot. These things will not rot.
I feel like I'm on this planet, and the general message that you get told is to go and get a job and like just do that, blah 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 blah, just live this thing. But no, I don't care about the being paid thing. Like I want to sort some of these issues out, and it's not a political point. Doing things like sorting out the rubbish isn't me being political. It's me. I'm drowning under the weight of single-use plastic, and nobody seems to mind it. No one has a problem with it. And that film that we did, where the woman had such a problem with it, the thing I found bizarre about that
Which film we did?
Oh, the one that,
A film about single-use plastic.
The film. The one that the woman got upset about, that all this is about.
Oh, Madonna and Bedminster, right. Oh yeah, because there's loads and loads of trash.
Fly tipping in Bristol, and the reason that we started making that film was because we walked to a bit of Bristol that was called Little Paradise, and it was strewn with rubbish, just like one of the most disgusting, like dystopian things I've ever seen. Just a big concrete box, basically, that was like sort of like like fly tipping with like, you know, half-built sort of supposedly affordable housing that no one's ever going to live in the background. Like it looked like the end of the world. And so we thought we'd make this film, which is like, wouldn't it be funny if the Madonna materialised in this like horrible landfill?
Well, I think what the way it was I just had, for some reason, an image, and I guess it was, well, we talk a lot about theology and so on, but where we were living in Bedminster was so very dystopian.
So vile. It's horrible.
And the violent crime rate was something like 42
like,
in 100.
The
and the environment is
like,
horrible. We found human feces at the walls and other kinds of male excretion on the floor. It's a wretched
It's a disgusting
area.
place, and it all indicates a desire to just destroy your environment as much as possible. And the interesting thing about that is that Bristol is a place where a lot of really posh kids go to university. And a lot of the things that I hear about like the fly tipping and stuff, it's being done by posh people. Like there's this whole like middle class like free cycle thing where you put, I don't know, like I saw a baby's toilet seat on one of them once. It's sort of like, you know, just people basically leaving out their trash. And I was there for 3 years, and it was suffocating.
My
favourite
piece of trash in Bedminster was, and I hope you recall this, a sort of semi-formed, not dry, concrete brick, grout brick, sitting on a Cadbury's twirl box that sat on a wall on Raleigh Road,
which is about half a mile long.
And slowly just desiccated and melted over time until it was just a twirl box over like at least 6 months.
And what else was there? There was they used to leave electrical equipment,
flat screen television,
flat screen TVs,
like on the street.
They left all these.
And if you walked alongside by the river, if you went to Spike Island and walked along over the other side, along Spike Island, along the direction of Coronation Road, and you looked across into the river, which we later found out was like the most polluted river in the south. And the bushes, as well as like some sleeping bags and tents where homeless people live.
Nobody seems to care about people not being allowed to
it's
live
fine
anywhere.
that people
it's fine,
don't
apparently.
live anywhere. But there was also in the bushes countless big flat screen televisions.
Why?
That they had thrown into the bushes. People used to just put their sofas outside and then they would get set on fire. It was like Derek Jarman's Jubilee in Bedminster. It was unbelievable. Hideous and self-inflicted. Not caused, because it is this kind of decay in this country, I would venture to say, is not caused at all, ever, I would say, by poor people.
No.
It is caused by the bourgeoisie, who are also responsible for the majority of things like international flights and so on, and probably for consuming the most dead animal, and so consequently are responsible for like the destruction
What
of
do you know?
our
I
planet.
looked up at the statistics about animal consumption, and the richer countries tend to consume more. Wow, who would have thought? You know, everyone, like, we've been fine as a species, we've been fine with beans for, you know, eating beans and stuff like porridge has been like one of the bedrocks of us being able to survive as a civilization.
And now New Age people say that oats are dangerous.
People are saying that oats are dangerous, and like when we were living in the city that shall not be named in Bedminster,
We've already named it.
When we were living in Bristol, like you couldn't find beans anywhere. Everything was just the co-op.
Until we discovered the amazing Turkish shop.
Until we went
which
to
was
places
called International Sky Store. If you are ever in
it's amazing.
the appalling area that is Bedminster, go to the one brilliant shop there, which is run by these lovely guys It's called International Sky Store. They have the most amazing ceiling.
They've got beautiful ceiling, and they sell every type of beans that you can find.
Yeah, it's the only shop that I've ever enjoyed going in apart from bookshops.
Yeah, me too. I really like that place.
I loved International Sky, and the guys thought I was funny as well. They thought I was silly and funny, and they didn't look at me like I was some sort of reprobate.
Whereas if we went into the place next door to that, the Halfing store, which I unfortunately have to go in these places because they're the only places that sell dead animal stuff all the time.
Yeah.
I'm just the hatred that people look at me with. Sort of like who are from far above the poverty line.
Yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, because I'm disabled and I've spent most of my life wallowing in poverty, this sort of stuff counts as punching down. And all these people, all these music publications, all these people involved in the arts, they're all riding on this ticket that they're so liberal and they're so woke and they're so into human rights and stuff, and I promise we haven't just been neglecting to write about the genocide at all until you called them out about it. They all ride on this ticket of being really, really ethical, and all of the music and stuff being formulated on the work of punk bands and outsider musicians in the past. And they all run on this, and they basically just bully poor people, they bully disabled people, they're all super macho, and it just seems like punching down.
Well, when
everywhere, the general thing of people looking at us like we're scum because we look, a lot of the time because of autistic sensibilities, is punching down.
Yeah. When we were first attempting to get any press coverage for the most important album of the century, Samih Madhoun's Oud Music from Gaza, Volume 2 coming soon, by the way. And we're actually going to play the entirety of what exists so far, as it will be an ever-growing album of Oud Music from Gaza, Volume 2, at the end of this show. But over the process of trying to promote this, when it was apparent that because of the political landscape at that time, it was going to be a real uphill struggle to get any Western media to write about it, and I wrote to every publication. I found publications I didn't know existed, and some, first of all, a very highbrow publication called The Arts Desk were the first to cover it, and then Sharp's Music, a political music blog, covered it. But I still, I still haven't managed to hit any mainstream types. So I changed tack and started insinuating that the music journalists' nether regions may be minuscule. And at that point, it changed, and we started to actually get some coverage. Not from the Wire magazine.
No, which is interesting because it's a field recording album, isn't it? It's an album of field recordings. I would have thought, as one of the world's supposedly leading experimental music magazines,
there are claps in the Wire magazine.
They would maybe want to cover an album of field recording. And also the other thing as well is I will never stop criticising these people because I really don't care, because I'm a punk musician, so I'm not involved.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. I tell you what.
Nobody likes the. I'm
enjoying this music.
I thought that people wanted to do the DIY thing, but it turns out they were just. No. I don't know, it's trendy at the time. Pre-hashtags, it would be a hashtag now, if there had been social media at the time.
If this music was on the Wire magazine's office ambience,
they might be a bit more.
A bit more relaxed.
I mean, to be fair, this is probably better than most improv.
I think what they probably need at the Wire magazine is a bit more of a culture where they at the end of a long day in the office, they play ukulele together.
Listen to Jamiroquai.
Yeah, Jamiroquai.
Get the guitar off of the guitar rack in the office that they never play.
Yeah, exactly.
It's probably signed by somebody.
Yeah, it's signed by Fred Frith.
But it's really out of tune, and
they don't know how to tune it.
Oh no!
Yeah, but it's okay because it's avant-garde.
It's okay because they're critics, so it's fine.
And they have a little sing-along.
Because nowadays,
at the end of the day, that's what they need to do.
If a person who's a critic, usually blokes, if they've like watched Fellini, that means that they've made Fellini.
That's true.
Just like with the football thing. Like,
and most of them haven't
this.
even watched it.
Yeah, most of them haven't watched Fellini. They just, because if they hadn't watched Fellini, they would know that it's really fun, and they don't need to talk about it like it's really serious because he's got a sense of humour.
But when they saw the Fellini movie, when they saw Juliet of the Spirits, they actually talked through it to the girl they were trying to impress. They've only seen it the once and they did not pay attention to a second of it because they talked about the film pretending they'd already seen it to the girl next to them. We know what you're up to, film guys. Film guys, man. Film guys. The thing is, the problem is, film...
I prefer them to experimental music guys, to be fair.
Oh yeah.
Marginally, they are marginally better.
No, but experimental music has a thing... Like in this country, really, apart from like a handful of people like Will Edmonds and the greatest artist in the West, Lucinda Guy, there is not experimental culture in this country, and the whole experimental music scene. And I've felt this for years, but now I have withdrawn fully from this scene, and I ain't going back. I feel like I can talk about it more, but the experimental music scene in this country, both in academia, but also in I don't know how you would term it. I mean, it isn't really an underground scene. The scene around The Wire and Cafe Auto and Resonance FM and this kind of scene has been based on principles and ideas that were formulated by people in the 1950s. I've had many close encounters with improv music, both in London but also in Europe. And this kind of music, let's be honest, it is only consumed by people who read The Wire magazine. Nobody else listens to this music because at the end of the day, going sort of
I mean, it's pretty boring.
On a saxophone, it isn't really saying that much. It isn't really saying anything musically.
All the musicians
it isn't saying anything in a narrative sense.
All the musicians who did improv within the jazz idiom had a sort of like structure that they were working to, so it was a lot
but within that structure you can do everything.
But that's what I mean, like they had to, I don't know, I feel like kind of like abandoning having any structure of music is kind of having contempt for the art form in a way.
And it is it
ends up like...
It didn't... When I watch these kind of improvisers going for like 90 minutes, I've had to sit through a lot of it. What I hear is people who don't know anything about music. Because music is not just the making of sounds. Music is the creation of structures, baby.
Yeah, and it's the space between the notes a lot of the time.
Yeah, and I've been in improvisation contexts and people get a bit squiffy with me because I can't help imposing structure. Yeah. I can't help sometimes going into a melody, for example. Yeah. And in the improvisation... whatever it is, this beast that they call the experimental music scene, is if you do something in that context that is unexpected, then you're not going to get invited back. No. You know, and it's the kettle again. And there is a great level of condescension around this scene, and people talk about wanting to have a forward-thinking culture and things like that, but the experimental music scene, what it wants, and it's epitomised by the sight of looking at three guys who've just managed to grow their first beard at 41, sat with their three laptops, playing some field recordings, and it is turgid. It's boring. There is nothing of interest. There is no structure. No,
I've had to sit through so many of those gigs, and I just really
and
do not want to do it ever again.
No, and it is this
so
kind
boring.
of nonsense, and I would also throw my ire at the whole nonsense that is people who do nothing but make drone music. You know, drone music really at this time. Do you know what drone music is? It's new age music for goths. You know, and we don't need that. We don't need any more new age music. Put some activity and some movement in your music. Make music that might make people's neurons fizz a bit. Use your imagination.
It's not music if it doesn't lift you up.
You dull person. You dull composer. Don't be dull. Make things that change. Take a beat and fire it to the stars.
And you know, like people like. Who's the bloke who...
These people aren't making music because they like music. They're making music because they feel sitting in front of some people being silent and boring whilst they press play on their laptop. I don't think it's that. It's just they feel like it gives them status.
They're not even trying to make money because they've all got so much to live.
Yeah, they're not trying to make money.
The weird thing is that I'm more like actually motivated by...
Which I didn't know.
The interesting thing I found out is like I'm actually more motivated by money than a lot of people, even though I don't believe in it and it's not real, because I need it because I don't have it. Whereas all the other people, like, this is another thing that I found interesting. I probably shouldn't say the name of the particular place, but this sort of community, supposedly alternative audio-visual type centre with lots of seats lowered to the floor and a thing where it looks like they might screen movies. This particular place, all the people who go there, it's volunteer run, so it attracts a certain kind of demographic, which is people that don't need to make money, doesn't it? And that's like with all this other stuff. If your only incentive for playing for other people, if you're a supposed musician, is just being seen by other people, then that implies you don't really need to do it very much. Yeah. So these people are all not being motivated by money because they're not being paid. They're not being paid. All of it is purely about being seen to do something in front of a group of other people. But what's the point? We are all going to die.
Yeah.
What's the point?
We've created this.
What is the purpose of this status thing? What is the point?
I would say that the
reason...
the
end times.
No, there is no point.
You know, just get over it.
I would say
save
that
the world.
Reason that everything is so appalling now is that the culture has gone into such a shape that the entire art world and the entire entertainment industry is created and commissioned by bourgeois people.
Yeah.
Now,
it's boring.
Bourgeois people, they have no taste. Because they've never experienced anything.
And it's probably important here to say that it's a state of mind, isn't
it? Yes, bourgeois is not dependent on... I have plenty of friends who are very... I have friends who are very... done stuff I have friends who are more astronomically rich than you could imagine, and they...
Yeah, and I know...
They do good stuff.
Yeah, and I know people who are mega famous as well, as in like, you know, some of the most famous people there are, who do stuff with their money.
Yeah. And now we have...
to help other people.
Just this entire
They
culture
don't do that thing of
greed.
giving money away and then telling everyone about it on social media.
Yeah.
I gave somebody a heart-shaped chocolate, and I think who was on the street, and I think he really appreciated it. Which literally happened to me. I mean, how insulting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, atrocious. So, yeah, the whole culture now is run by the bourgeois. And art, traditionally, until the last 20 years, really, all art forever has been made by the poor, you know, because prior to kind of this point in history...
There wasn't an industry.
No, but also, like, pretty much everybody was poor, you know, The bourgeois were a very small amount of people, and now we have this culture where many people listening to this program, the life that they are leading and the resources they have are far in excess of what Henry VIII had, and these people think that is a normality.
Yeah,
and I can say from direct interaction with family members who won't talk to me anymore, that this life creates a completely cloistered view of what reality actually
You're actually
is.
missing out.
You're
missing out on the
On
wonder.
I would say the human experience.
The human experience,
yes.
by modelling all of your behaviour around what is shown to you on this tiny little pocket glass, fondle slab phone thing, that you behave as if it's a mystical object when it isn't. It's a method of delivering advertising to you, and so many people have been destroyed by this thing, and you are really seriously missing out.
Yeah, well, now, speaking of mystical objects.
Go outside.
Speaking of mystical objects, we have a Catholic bathroom
Oh, we
again.
do.
We have a Catholic bathroom now. Just to introduce you to the concept of the... Yeah, introduce you to the concept of the Catholic bathroom. The Catholic bathroom was inspired by the great English artist Kenneth Russell.
Praise be.
Praise be, who's one of our saints. And when he was living in his house in the New Forest, which unfortunately burnt down, he created in his bathroom a real Catholic utopia that was a sort of mixture of Catholicism and erotica and UFOs and so on. And so at our previous accommodation in Bedminster, to make it more tolerable, we created a Catholic bathroom for ourselves. And now here in Shipton Abbot, we have created Catholic bathroom Mark II. And I would say that it is even more spectacular than Catholic bathroom Mark I.
Holograms.
It's got holograms.
It's got a rosary and it's got a scene of the appearance of Our Lady of Lourdes. In a
shoe,
in a little hollowed out clog, a mini clog that's made of wax.
It's got religious magic lantern slides strewn about the walls. It's got this old game called Hex, which was some kind of tessellating colour matching game, but they look like little magical items. It's got a horsey.
It's got some sort of 3-foot-ish red crucifixes that we carried through.
No, they're more 5-foot red crucifixes.
That we carried
We've got two 5-foot red crucifixes.
Russell Square once on the way to another gig.
Yep. We've got a colouring book for Catholic women and a biography of the Pope, which says on the front, I've been meaning to talk to you about this actually, it says on the front of that book, read this book, ignore all the others. Now, is that referring to just ignoring other biographies of the Pope, or is it referring to all of the books?
Well, I mean, that would also include the Bible.
Yeah, is he saying just read this biography of the Pope and sack the rest? I mean, I don't think that's the way to Jesus, really.
Regarding the Pope, you should all read his speech that he gave a few hours before he died, where he just said, "What is wrong with all of you? Why are you so into the bloodlust?"
Yeah.
Which I thought was a good message to go out on.
Yeah. And I would love to have on this show as a special guest. I would love to. No. Well, obviously, I'd love to have the Pope.
I'd love to have the Pope.
And then he could give me the Catholic Film Award for the Madonna of Bedminster.
Yeah.
I would like to have. What was I saying?
I'm so depressed that
I have no clue what I was saying. But yeah, you got me into the thought of having the Pope round for dinner. If I had the Pope round for dinner, I'd cook him such a lovely meal. Tell you what I'd make him. I'd make him tofu and chickpeas and courgette and little diced bits of pepper in garlic, chili, ras al hanout with crushed banana. I would make frying pan flatbreads, right? And I would make a little stamp of crucifixes that I would stamp into each of the flatbreads.
Do you know what?
I would get myself a nice candle of Saint Sebastian being pierced to have in the middle of the table.
I really want a Saint Sebastian.
Oh,
like the one in Carrie. I want the one in Carrie so much.
Any Saint Sebastian.
And it's got.
If you've got a Saint Sebastian,
it's got. What I didn't realise about the Carrie one is that it's got. Catherine Martell's her mother from Twin Peaks. It's got her eyes in it, so it's technically a Twin Peaks crossover Saint Sebastian.
Yeah. Well, I know what I was going to say. Because when we were talking about having the Pope around for dinner and then I said what I was going to cook for him. Well, first of all, I didn't finish that because I would do with it some lovely little roast potatoes in paprika, and I would also do some turmeric and cardamom rice. But my thought was that I would love to invite to the Sound Art Studio, because we were talking about this thing that there seems to be 47% of people who don't have the bloodlust, and 53% of people who do have the bloodlust. So, if you are a person with the bloodlust, I would love you to come on our show and explain the bloodlust to me, because I mean, I'm quite lusty, but I don't have bloodlust.
No.
Do I? No bloodlust. In fact, well, it's not that. I mean, on an aesthetic level, I quite like blood. You know, I like it in art. I like it in film. I could go further into some blood things, but you don't want to hear it. But I am kind of a vampire. I don't have this bloodlust, but clearly some people do, and clearly it's not anymore a thing that people are attempting
to control,
to control or to conceal.
No.
And so I would love, get in touch. avantHardCollective@gmail.com. I'm going to spell it, because if you're a bloodlusty person, you probably can't spell. So AVANTHARDCOLLECTIVE at, and not the word at, the little swirly thing, at Gmail, and that is spelled G-M-A-I-L dot, not the word dot, full stop.
It's on the keyboard.
K-O-M. Get in touch with us and say, hey, I'm a bloodlusty kind of guy. I love murder. And I love gouging out the planet. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Get in touch with us. We want you on the show, and we want you to explain to us the mechanism by which this is a good idea.
I just don't understand it.
And the mechanism by which you manage to walk through the world.
Yeah, I mean, like, I find it weird that all these people can hold down a job, but maybe that...
I think maybe that kind of attitude, that kind of attitude, it maybe helps.
Maybe it helps.
I mean, because the workplace is...
It's not very good for sort of screaming into the void about sort of like...
But the workplace is also notorious as a place of like backbiting, and everybody is trying to climb up the baboon colony over each other.
Yeah.
And I could just never participate in
that
as
I've always said,
it's crazy.
Like, there's no point because we're all going to die, so what's the purpose of that?
Basically, what I'm trying to say is that all in all, probably with everything I've ever done, and on these programs, what I'm trying to say, even though apparently I'm some kind of extremist now to the extent that I should be...
Because you don't have the bloodlust.
Yeah, because I don't have the bloodlust, that makes me an extremist.
That really makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
And all I'm fundamentally trying to say is that it is entirely possible to have fun, to be and experience beauty, to enrich and like give joy to the people around you,
without like stabbing the planet. But
stabbing the planet doesn't give joy to anybody.
No.
And the problem is with all these things that give joy to everybody in consumerism, the whole notion of consumerism is that the joy that arrives is a temporary joy.
And
so
it's external.
This thing that this dreadful thing that like if you think to the idea of like a Victorian child who played with their spinning top for 8 years, and now in consumerism, children get a toy and they play with it for 5 minutes and then they're bored of it and they want a new toy, and we've been encouraged into this mechanism, whereas the child with the spinning top who plays with the spinning top for 8 years, that spinning top will be a million things over the course of that 8 years, and that spinning top becomes a vessel of imagination, and imagination encourages thought, and without thought we have nothing. And since 1980 we've shown CFAX in vision pages with music on BBC and talk.
Sorry, I'm just trying to put on hold music again.
Well, what is this?
This is the last days of CFAX, the last broadcast. I didn't know it had the ident at the beginning, but it's the night that it all went.
That tragic night.
Yeah.
What date did CFAX die?
Oh, I can't remember. 22nd of October 2012.
I love CFAX. None of the kids know anything about CFAX.
No.
The internet sucks compared to
I
CFAX.
got a review on CFAX once
that's
that
amazing.
he really hated us. It might have been teletext, actually. He said that we belonged...
One was on BBC and one was on ITV, is that right? Was CFAX on BBC and teletext? No, teletext was...
I can't remember, but I used to
one
love
or the
it.
other.
I found it so exciting.
But you found legitimately interesting information.
Yeah. Well, they said that we sound like something that come out of one of the lower circus of hell and belonged in the bottom of Less Than Jake's dustbin. The guy hated us. It was amazing.
Some things never changed.
No, but I mean, I got a neggy review on CFAX on teletext.
That is high achievement.
And actually, I'll tell you another piece of information is that some of the comedy people that I used to be around displayed signs of jealousy about the fact that I got a review on teletext.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful.
It was a crazy world.
Yeah. I never got reviewed on teletext.
No, see, I win.
Yeah, you do win. I'm trying to think if I've got a similarly exciting...
That was free. That was totally free.
Yeah. If I got a similarly exciting review, I don't think I can top your teletext. I did get a dreadful review in Arse Rocker magazine.
I was in Arse Rocker magazine.
That said it was alright until the idiot in the corner of the room opened their mouths. I've always had this kind of press. When I'm just trying to make like some pop music.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I'm sorry, this is all a bit psychiatry session, but I legitimately have never ever understood why my work upsets people so much.
I think it's just because of the autism.
I
really do.
My work isn't exactly Viennese actionism. There's no swan death, you know.
Maybe that's what the people want. No, but I mean, it's just like I think it's partly. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. Like Herod was saying that he showed some people something and they got afraid and turned it off because it made them think about stuff. So maybe it's that. Yeah. I don't know. I think it might be the autism. It's probably also not helpful being like a pacifist for people now.
Oh, that's not helpful at
because they've all done it. I think that
you're an extremist if you don't want to see loads of people get slaughtered.
Yeah, and I think
did
what's
you know that,
happened.
Kids? That's what we're living now.
I kind of think Mary Whitehouse was right to an extent but not actually the way she said it. But the thing of like having a culture where some of the most violent and explicit imagery is just sort of beamed into everybody on every day. People are, and it doesn't even have to be like whatever. All of it is it causes a kind of detachment where people think that it's not real. Yeah. And like that's the problem. Not that like video games cause violence or whatever, but there's this detachment where people. I mean, there's even a word for it, isn't there? Main character syndrome. Yeah. That people kind of don't know what reality is anymore. Yeah. And I don't know. It's just I was watching talking about Jamiroquai again. A thing came up on the telecommunication device thing, like a YouTube notification, which was like a making of some Jamiroquai video from 2005, and it was basically the guy partying in his mansion or whatever with loads of people. And none of them had phones, obviously, and they were all kind of like, you know, what you would think of now as like celebrity influencer type people. Yeah. But everybody in it kind of looked really sort of innocent, and they weren't like really even sort of like, you know, a lot of people kind of mocked the Jamiroquai thing for the guy appearing like he's maybe slightly egotistical, but actually, like, compared to people now, he comes across as like a totally. They all come across as very reasonable because they don't. Because I don't know, something's happened in society with the phone thing where people are. I don't know. It's like there's a void or something. Yeah. It's very strange watching this footage of people. And I think that's why I find stuff like Gilmore Girls so weird, because Gilmore Girls visually looks exactly the same as now, but when you look at it, the entire method of communication and everything is completely different, because now, whenever you watch any media, everything is tied to the phone. Yeah. Every single thing, now, every life is tied to this phone thing.
Yeah. My question about that, really, what you were just saying, is that I'm a little surprised that they really... I haven't seen this video of JK having a nice party with his friends, but...
It's the one that goes...
I don't think I know this one. But the making of Jamiroquai video that I would like to see, I've read about how they made it, is Virtual Insanity. Remember that one? Because the way they did that is fascinating. They first of all... It was pretty high budget. They got a room and they first turned it into an ice rink, right? And then once it had all frozen over, then they got an industrial-sized tub of Vaseline and just smeared it all over the floor. And that's when they brought in the walls, right? They brought in these portable walls and they lathered the underside of them with treacle, so they would just slip around backwards and forwards. Yeah. And then...
A lot of ants, like.
Yeah, and then they got JK and they didn't tell him that while he was getting his lipstick on in the dressing room, they didn't tell him that they'd filed down the soles on the bottom of his shoes. So when they started shooting, he got on, started slipping about, and it was just pandemonium. All that slipping and sliding about. He had like vertigo afterwards for
Is that why it's called
ages.
Virtual Insanity?
Virtual Insanity.
Virtual Insanity.
It drove him insane.
Yeah.
You know, and he said that's why the next video was Cosmic Girl, and he was in a car because after Virtual Insanity, that shoot, he said, I like this music industry game, but I ain't never slipping about again. I'm not going to do that slipping about act. I'll wear the big hats, but if you ask me to slip about and slide about,
and
I'm not doing it.
The good thing
he can't eat treacle anymore.
The good thing about
he gets eczema around his lips. He can't put Vaseline on it anymore because he thinks back to the Virtual Insanity shoot.
Well, the good thing about a car is if you cover the seat in Vaseline,
doesn't have ice in his drinks.
The only way that you're going to go is just sort of into the bit where the brake pedal and stuff is, so it's not too far away, and then you can just get back up onto the seat.
That's true. I'd love to.
Use the steering wheel to hoist yourself up.
I think it's a wonderful idea for a game is to go around, open people's cars, smear the seats in Vaseline, and then watch all the drivers slipping and sliding about in their wheels. And it reminds me of a wonderful night many years ago when I was making some miniatures for something, I can't remember what, and experimentally I bought this stuff which was called fake snow. I needed to make a snow scene or something. I bought this stuff that was called fake snow. It came in these little test tubes. And unfortunately, one of them spilt off the kitchen side. Went all over the floor, this white powder, fake snow. And then I thought, oh dear. So I proceeded to attempt to clean up this fake snow. And it turned out to be impossible, quite impossible to clean up. And what happened then was for about, I don't know how long, for a substantial amount of time afterwards, every single floor in my house was the slippiest surface you could possibly imagine. And I spent days just sliding around like JK, and like when you walked on it, it was like an ice rink, and there was just no way, it just eroded over time the more that people slipped on it. And it was an exciting time, slipping about, sliding about, because I'm quite a tall person, not rotund, but sort of large built, and the capacity to kind of like, slip about it's the domain of the small gentleman, isn't it? The capacity
like,
slip and slide about.
Got a high centre of gravity.
Yeah, if I try to slip and slide about in general, there's going to be broken crockery and so on, because I'm large and cumbersome. But that period of accidentally spilling fake snow on myself made me, feel just for a few hours how JK must feel, and I experienced inside me by osmosis what it feels like to be listened to by graphic designers after a long day in the office.
Yeah, because you don't get that much.
No, I don't get listened to by a lot of graphic designers.
Yeah, they just write a really
If you are a graphic designer who listens to Ergo Phizmiz, get in touch.
Oh, you know that thing
Prove
about
me
how
wrong.
neither of us exist, and I'm never allowed to admit the thing that I'm doing. Like, I'm not a photographer, I'm not a filmmaker, I'm not a pianist, I'm not a singer, I'm not. I've never put on a gig. Even bar work, apparently I don't do. Apparently I can't cook, apparently, all this stuff, whatever I do, everyone's going to sort of pretend that I'm not doing it and refuse to acknowledge that I exist. And what was the point I was trying to make?
I have no idea. I drifted.
Oh, God, it's just embarrassing, isn't it?
I drifted off. No, it's fine. It's fine to do.
Oh yeah, graphic designers.
Graphic designers.
That was it. I don't do that either. When actually I've done loads of graphic design, loads and loads of posters, and it's funny that you're not allowed to admit what you do, isn't it?
Well, but we
unless it's a position in which you're serving other people.
Oh yeah, of course.
And then people find that kind of fine, I think.
We could tell the listeners our wonderful idea for if you have unpleasant interactions with pompous people on the street, you have to be always armed with a Jamiroquai CD in your coat pocket, in the pocket of your blazer.
Or a Dan Brown book.
Or a Dan Brown book, something like that. Jamiroquai CD, Dan Brown book. And when the pompous person with whom you have had the unpleasant interaction is walking away, that is when, the fastest draw in the West, you whip out
the Dan Brown book.
Your Angels and Demons, and you say to the pompous person, "Excuse me, mate, I think you dropped this." That's what you do. And try it. It's really satisfying.
Yeah.
There are many ways that you can have fun.
Jordan Peterson's book, which has been in the charity shop for ages. Nobody wants it.
I'm with the charity shop near us. I'm waiting to see which goes first, because they have a Jordan Peterson book and a Nadine Dorries novel.
I reckon it'll be the Nadine Dorries, because that's of actual superior quality to the Jordan
Peterson.
Yeah,
but couldn't some aggressive, repressed young boy go in and buy the Jordan Peterson book? An aggressive, angry sort of incel guy. I don't think they
really go into charity shops.
Oh, maybe they don't.
No.
Yeah. No. What kind of shops do they go into?
Ones that sell bricks in a bag that they can throw at somebody. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be sort of macho-y things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone just needs to cheer up a bit, really. Yeah. Don't know.
And just people need to have fun. I don't
I don't understand why
life passes by.
But this
and
weird
people
thing that loads of
sit in a chair for hours on end, scrolling on their stupid phone, while outside bats are flying.
Yeah.
And you can never be bored looking at a bat.
No.
You can, unless you're adult and you don't find it astonishing just to be alive. Look at the actual nature of reality, the vast mystery that we live in. Aren't you astonished to be alive? Why don't you look up? You might see UFOs.
I think that's the point I was trying to make about the Madhoun Bedminster thing. Is that we made this film and it really upset people. We're not entirely sure why. It was because it was about details, and I think just because it had loads of autistic people in it. But in that film, the whole point of it, I think, was saying why are you destroying the planet? In many ways, obviously, it talked about the genocide, and there was that. But we were also talking about this thing, which I do feel is kind of connected to all of the problems, which is that everybody's happy to just trash the area that they live in. Everybody seems perfectly happy to just trash stuff, and then people just accept it as part of the fabric of, oh well, I can't do anything about it. But it's like, no, say no to this. We had the whole Keep Britain Tidy campaign and stuff like that. It used to be frowned upon to just chuck all your rubbish in the river. But I do feel like they are connected in the sort of microcosmic thing. That's an ecocide. The situation in Gaza is an ecocide. It's all an ecocide, and all of it is connected. And that was the point with the film. And the person who did the really neggy review didn't seem to notice any of that. It seemed totally fine with these, like,
well, they did not understand the movie at all. They thought it was a love letter to Bristol.
They said it was a love letter to Bristol. It wasn't.
Because we really love decay.
It was made out of disgust at the fact that Bristol used to be a nice place. I had a nice time when I lived there before. I used to go down there all the time. I used to love going down there. It was a great place to live. And now it is horrible. It has been destroyed. It is totally hostile living there. I think because it had that gentrification thing of everybody went there because it was marginally cheaper than London. Now it's more expensive than London, and there's not as many houses. And London was known as one of the most expensive places in the world, as the most expensive place in the world to rent.
Now literally,
so now Bristol is more than London, and it's the most
expensive
expensive city in the world. And I can verify that because I picked that up
and
from the statistics, and somebody else just echoed that back at me who I didn't know. So that's being talked about. And it is horrible. It used to be a nice place, but it is horrible. It's just covered in trash. And this woman who reviewed the thing didn't notice any of that. And that's one of the things that I find the most disturbing about it, is that they didn't notice that this whole thing was about, why are you trashing the place that you live? And I can't help thinking that maybe everyone goes off on holiday and they don't see that, and I don't go on holiday. I don't understand the holiday thing. I don't think it's a good idea to be burning the planet for leisure.
We both
at the point where we're
extensively
all really
around Europe,
not in a good
worked
place
in America and so on. But
that's only because I can't get a job here because no one will hire me because of statusy things.
Only employment either of us can
the only employment we can get is out of the country that we live in.
Anywhere.
So I mean, it's just like, what, I'm supposed to take all of this stuff more and more and more and be fine with it? No, I'm not fine with it. The least I can do is say this sucks. And so I just find it weird. People are okay with just fly tipping and like destroy everything, go on holiday, pretend it's not happening, everything's on fire, yeah, whatever. Go and trash that and then come back and trash your own country. On that note, should we play Samih Madhoun's second volume of oud music from Gaza?
I think that, first of all, I would like to read something as a little preface to Volume 2 of oud music from Gaza. And I shall, because I've got all my books back after 8 years in a storage container.
Shall I stop the hold music?
No, I think we can go with the hold music. So, I would like to read this short passage from the end of Antoine de Saint-Exupéry's Wind, Sand and Stars, in which Saint-Exupéry is sitting in the third-class carriage on a train. A baby lay at the breast of a mother so weary she seemed asleep. Life was being transmitted in the shabbiness and the disorder of this journey. I looked at the father, a powerful skull as naked as a stone, a body hunched over in uncomfortable sleep, imprisoned in working clothes, all humps and hollows. The man looked like a lump of clay, like one of these sluggish and shapeless derelicts that crumple into sleep in our public markets, and I thought, the problem does not reside in this poverty, in this filth, in this ugliness, but this same man and this same woman met one day. This man must have smiled at this woman. He may, after his work was done, have brought her flowers. Timid and awkward, perhaps he trembled lest she disdain him, and this woman, out of natural coquetry, this woman sure of her charms, perhaps took pleasure in teasing him. And this man who is now no more than a machine for swinging a pick or a sledgehammer, must have felt in his heart a delicious anguish. The mystery is that they should have become these lumps of clay. Into what terrible mould were they forced? What was it that marked them like this, as if they had been through a monstrous stamping machine? A deer, a gazelle, any animal grown old preserves its grace. What is it that corrupts this wonderful clay of which man is needed? I went on through these people whose slumber was as sinister as a den of evil. A vague noise floated in the air made up of raucous snores, obscure moanings, and the scraping of clogs as their wearers, broken on one side, sought comfort on the other. And always the muted accompaniment of those pebbles rolled over and over by the waves. I sat down face to face with one couple. Between the man and the woman, a child had hollowed himself out of place and fallen asleep. He turned in his slumber, and in the dim lamplight I saw his face. What an adorable face. A golden fruit had been born of these two peasants. Forth from this sluggish scum had sprung this miracle of delight and grace. I bent over the smooth brow, over those mildly pouting lips, and I said to myself, this is a musician's face. This is the child Mozart. This is a life full of beautiful promise. Little princes in legends are not different from this, protected, sheltered, cultivated. What could this child become? When by mutation a new rose is born in a garden, all the gardeners rejoice. They isolate the rose, tend it, foster it, but there is no gardener for men. This little Mozart will be shaped like the rest by the common stamping machine. This little Mozart will love shoddy music in the stench of night dives. This little Mozart is condemned. And I think that's a remarkable passage. Mm-hmm. So, broadcasting from Shipton Abbot, the wonderful Devonshire town. And I would like to say one thing that I've noticed about living in Devon is that people here do seem to respect their environment a little more. I don't see a lot of littering. The Devon Council employs some, cleaners and sweepers. Yeah, I still see some. I still see
more than there was.
Yeah.
When I was a kid.
Because post-Brexit Britain, isn't it filthy, isn't it dirty? As soon as they did the Brexit, they decided to drop all their litter everywhere. And all of the standards too. Aren't we a classy nation?
Yeah, really classy species as well.
Well, I've been out, Dr. Ergo Phizmiz.
And I'm Depresstival.
We've been on Sound Art Radio. In a slight state of breakdown, but alright, really. We're going to play you now to play out the entirety of the forthcoming release, Oud Music from Gaza, Volume 2, by the maestro Samih Madhoun, who is 18 years old, and since the genocide on Gaza started, has been consistently creating, consistently producing, using music to keep the spirits of the people around him, using music as this non-commercial thing, which is actually, one might call it the voice of God. Certainly one can say that this is not music as commodity. This is music doing what music has done throughout time, before our revolting time of packaging, commodification and shrink wrap. So here is the maestro, Master Samih Madhoun. This is coming out soon on my Bandcamp, ergophizmizmusic.bandcamp.com.
Hopefully coming out on cassette. Well, we'll be coming out on cassette soon as we get some tapes, and hopefully on vinyl quite soon.
Yeah, if you're a cool person with some money who wants to actually invest in preserving the work of this young, unsung genius, get in touch with us.
Yeah, and listen, tell your friends, and try to care less about branding and more about people's lives.
Yep.
Here's Samih Madhoun.
Bye, kids.
Goodbye.
خدها الهوى بيعز علي غني يا حبيبي لأول مرة ما بنكون سوا سألوني الناس عنك سألوني قلت لهم راجع وعتلوني غمضت عيوني خوفي للناس شوفوك مخبى بعيوني هب الهوى رماني الهوى لأول مرة ما بنكون سوا سألوني الناس عنك يا حبيبي كتبوا المكاتيب وخدها الهوى بيعز علي غني يا حبيبي لأول مرة ما بكون سوا. تقتل حمامكو في حداك يا فلسطينية والبندقاني رماك الصهيونية تقتل حمامكو في حداكو يا فلسطينية وانا بدي اسافر حيدك وناري في ايديا وايديا تنزل معاك ومعاك وعلى راس الحية وتموت شريعة مولاك. فلسطينية والغربة طالت كفاية والصحراء عنت من اللاجئين والضحايا يا فلسطينية والغربة طالت كفاية والصحراء عنت من اللاجئين والضحايا والأرض حنت للفلاحين والسقاية الثورة غاية والنصرية والخطاب والله يا فلسطينية تقتل حمامكو في حيداكو يا فلسطينية وانا بدي اسافر حيداكو ناري في ايديا وايديا تنزل معاك ومعاك وعلى راس الحية وتموت شريعة مولاك على راس الحية وتموت شريعة مولاك. ما إن ذكرتك يا إلهي مرة إلا تسارع خافقي ولساني ودعاء قلبي صامت لكنه بالوجد مشحون وبالإيمان. يممت مكة بالصلاة وبالدعاء وعلى المدينة طوفت أشفاني وذكرت أولى القبلتين فأجهشت كل الجوارح إنها أوطاني. ما إن ذكرتك يا إلهي مرة إلا تسارع خافقي ولساني. رجع الخي يا عين لا تدمعيله فوق كتاف رفقاته ومحبينه. رجع الخي يا عين لا تدمعيله فوق كتاف رفقاته ومحبينه. رجع الخي يا يما زغريتيله الشهيد دماته دين علينا. Hey حلفنا بحياته يلي ضحى بدماته بقيتنا حي. رجع الخير يا عين لا تدمعيله فوق كتاف رفقاته ومحبين. رجع الخير يا يما زغرتيله الشهيد دماته دين عليه. ماشي بعمل الشقاء ولكننا نتلاقى. ماشي بعمل الشقاء ولكننا نتلاقى. يا عراب اصحوا بقى يا عروبة تجددي. اهدني علي الشديد مهنة للمعتدي. فلسطين يا أمي يا ساكنة دمي. فلسطين يا أمي يا ساكنة دمي. متى اشتاق الأهل بحضانك تضمي وبشرعها الحرام النار بدها نار. وبشرعها الحرام النار بدها نار. والدار إلا الدار وبصوت عالي رددي يا عروبة تجددي. لن نخضع لن نركع لن نخضع لن نركع لن نخضع لن نركع لا للذل لا للهوى. لا تبالي يا غزة وتحلي بالعزة وتحدي كل حصار. لا تبالي يا غزة وتحلي بالعزة وتحدي كل حصار. رجع الخير يا عين لا تدمعيله فوق كتاف رفقاته ومحبينه. رجع الخير يا عين لا تدمعيله فوق كتاف رفقاته ومحبينه. رجع الخير يا يما زغرتيله الشهيد دماته دين علينا. حلفنا بحياته يا شوقي لا ضلاته. يا ما حلفنا بحياته يلي ضحى بدماته بقيتنا حي. رجع الخير يا عين لا تدمعيله فوق كتاف رفقاته ومحبين. رجع الخير يا يما زغرتيله الشهيد دماته دين عليه. ننسى أسامينا يا ترى دوري فينا ضل دوري فينا يا ترى دوري فينا ضل دوري فينا تنسوا أساميكم ننسى أسامينا تعال نتخبى من درب العمار وزي إن كبروا إحنا بقينا صغار تعال نتخبى من درب العمار وزي إن كبروا إحنا بقينا صغار سألونا وين كنتوا ليش ما كبرتوا انتوا بنقلوا ننسينا سألونا وين كنتوا ليش ما كبرتوا انتوا بنقلوا ننسينا واللي نادى الناس تا يكبروا الناس واللي نادى الناس تا يكبروا الناس راحوا نسينا دينا يا دار دوري فينا ضل دوري فينا يا دار دوري فينا ضل دوري فينا تنسوا أساميهم وننسى أسامينا يما 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 هدوا دارنا دار اخويا وجارنا يما هدوا دارنا ودار اخويا وجارنا لا تزعلي يا ميمتي زادت لينا حجارنا احنا فلسطيني احنا مو ارهابي احنا فلسطيني احنا مو ارهابي احنا اصحاب الحق يما وبدنا نرجع دارنا يما هدوا دارنا دار اخويا وجارنا يما هدوا دارنا ودار اخويا وجارنا لا تزعلي يا ميمتي زادت لينا حجارنا يا عين لا تدمعي له فوق كتاف رفقاته ومحبينه رجع الخير يا عين لا تدمعي له فوق كتاف رفقاته ومحبينه رجع الخير يما زهريتيله الشهيد دماته دين علينا حلفنا بحياته يا شوقي لا طلاته يا ما حلفنا بحياته يلي ضحى بدماته بقلبنا حي رجع الخير يا عين لا تدمعي له فوق كتاف رفقاته ومحبين رجع الخير يما زهرتيله الشهيد دماته دين عليه اشهد يا عالم علينا وهدموا بيوت والعرب بنوا مهانية واللي ما شاف بالغربال غزة تموت أعمى بعيون أمريكية اشهد يا عالم علينا وهدموا بيوت والعرب بنوا مهانية واللي ما شاف بالغربال غزة تموت أعمى بعيون أمريكية والطيارات احنا دقنا طعم الموت غارة برية وبحرية سدوا المعابر بالجوع جوع الناس تموت، شنوها الحرب النازية. اشهد يا عالم علينا وهدموا بيوت، والعرب بنوا مهانية، واللي ما شاف بالغربة الغزة تموت، أعمى بعيون أمريكية.
لا
على رواق الجو، على شحون
ضربي الخانات رواية من نادي الفيا، وامشي تحت الشتاء والشتاء يرحلونا ونبقى، والأرض لنا ستبقى. ها نحن اليوم أقوى من كل فناء. السمسم على أمه، خلي السمسم على أمه، تراب رأس اتفقوا ولا نتفق، واللي يحكموا